Hello beautiful people, my name is Vendi and I'm here to bring you the Abookalypse Tag. The Abookalypse Tag was created by Olivia at Read by Liv and I was lucky enough to be tagged by her. If it wasn't clear from the title, an abookalypse is the bookish apocalypse. So we've got a lot of questions to get through and the apocalypse is on its way, so I think it's best if we just get started. Finger guns, because I don't have real guns. Meaning I'm gonna die during this apocalypse. It's fine. Question number 1, evacuate! Everyone that you know is out and safe, and you can only go back to get one book before you all evacuate for real. Which book is it and why? So for all these questions, I narrowed it down to the books that I have with me here in Boston, and the one that I would choose in that case is my signed copy of Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. Susan Dennard is one of my favorite authors of all time. I literally never stop talking about the Truth Witch series, and just her story with writing this book and how much she struggled with it, I think would be really inspirational in an apocalypse where we're probably going to be struggling with just about everything for the rest of our lives. In signing, she gave me a little quote from the book. It says, "Darkness is not always foe," and I feel like that would be a really good mantra for surviving the apocalypse. So Wind Witch by Susan Dennard is the book that I'd go back and save. Question number 2, it's the apocalypse! Choose a book that will help you with survival skills during the apocalypse. I actually have 2 answers for this. My first answer would be Red Rising. So in Red Rising, our protagonist Darrow has to do some really sneaky, conniving things in order to stay alive and keep his cover in this society. So not only is there physical survival skills outlined in this, like how to stay alive if you don't have very much water, or how to build a fire, or how to hunt and kill an animal for meat and sustenance. There's also a really strong element of how to lead a group of people with as little friction as possible in your dynamic in order to keep all of you alive. And the next book I want to talk about is To Be a Machine by Mark O'Connell. I'm reading it right now, which is why there's no dust jacket. And basically, this is a nonfiction book about people who are trying to bring about AI and trying to integrate their own brains into technology. And the takeaway so far, and I'm about halfway through, seems to be that we're a lot closer to this than we anticipated, and we would have literally no way of stopping an AI from taking over the world and containing any damage if it actually does happen. So hopefully in the second half of this book, if there is an AI revolution, something in here will help me figure out how to contain the damage and get away safely with my family and friends. I'll keep you posted. Question number 3, grab anything you'll need. Grab a fan or book-related item that you would like to save in the case of an apocalypse. So I don't actually have very much here, but what I do have is a thing that I would like to save, and it's my signed Truth Witch poster. If you haven't surmised by now, the Witchlings is one of my favorite series of all time. So if there was an apocalypse, I'd want at least a little bit of a memento from it to sort of just keep my spirits up. And I think a beautiful poster is definitely one of the ways to keep your spirits up. Also, this poster is really small and compact and really light, so it wouldn't actually weigh me down. So I think it's like a really realistic thing to take with me. I know I'm just lying to myself, like I could fit food in my backpack instead, but I'd really want it with me if I had to bring like a bookish related item. Question number 4, zombies are coming. Which books on your TBR are you dying to read? The answer is all of them, obviously. I just want to read every book ever, but more than anything, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, because it's embarrassing that I haven't read it by now. It's been on the New York Times bestseller list for over a year at this point, and literally everyone that I've talked to about it says it's just the most phenomenal story in the world. So The Hate You Give, dying to read it. It's gonna happen this month. Question number 5, we need fire! Which 3 books from your shelf are you willing to burn in order to create a fire? I'm not even sorry. And before you get on my case for, oh my god, the question said 3 books, it's actually 4 books. 4 books in one. So I'll be delighted to burn every single one of them. Question number 6, all the stories were true. Which fictional world would you never be able to survive? My go-to answer for this is A Song of Ice and Fire. That's Game of Thrones for all of you non-book readers of the story out there. And I say this because I have 0 political or diplomatic skills, and I'm also not filthy rich, which seems to be one of the ways that people sort of stay alive in that series. But I don't have any of those books on my shelves here in Boston, so the one I have to choose for that is The Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean M. Auel. So The Clan of the Cave Bear takes place basically during an ice age where Neanderthals are still alive, and I don't think my survival skills are at all up to par for surviving here without like a pack of humans which don't quite exist yet in this world. I wouldn't be able to talk to people. My jokes would not be considered good enough to excuse me from foraging for food. And it would just be a really bad time to be me in this world. So could not survive it. Question number 7, lone survivor, except not really. Which character would you choose to be your companion / protector during the apocalypse? And this one was pretty easy. I have to choose Magnus Bane from the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Magnus is always good for a laugh, so when things are getting rough, he'd be there to lift your spirits. He also knows when to get serious, so if you're having like a truly hard time, I feel like he'd be really good for calming you down and sort of getting you to a good mental place. He's lived through a lot, though I feel like he'd be really good at living through an apocalypse as well. And also he has magic, so if you're ever hungry or cold or thirsty, your boy Magnus, he can hook you up. Question number 8, procreate. All of the literature is gone. What book do you choose to be the new classic? So the book that I would choose to be the next new classic is really a trilogy, and it is the His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. I don't have the trilogy with me, so I'm holding up the Book of Dust, which is the spin-off / companion trilogy that Philip Pullman is releasing now. I just think it's a story that can be enjoyed by people of all ages. When you're a kid, you can read it and get something out of it, and when you're an adult, you can read it and get something completely different out of it, and it's just wildly good for rereads. I still haven't read the Book of Dust, so I can't actually speak for this series yet, but I trust Philip Pullman's writing enough to think that it's gonna live up to my expectations. It also makes mention of religion and the dangers of it, to the point where I think it was a little preachy in that respect, but I feel like if we lose our entire society, having a almost historical aspect like history of our organized religion in the world is definitely something that would be useful in a classic tale of literature. And finally, number 9, start a new community. And this is the question where I tag some of you guys to do this too. So of course I gotta say, Random Girl Reading, Books Are a Way of Life, Book Your Imagination, Lisa West Coast Reads, Emma Rosen Books, Book Armada, and finally, Don't Have a Degree in Reading. I'm really excited to see all of your guys' videos, and if you make them, I hope that you'll link them in the comments below so I can watch them and enjoy them, because I had a lot of fun filming this, and I hope that you do too. Alrighty guys, that's it from me. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and I suggest you go check out Liv's because it was really great, and she did create this tag. So if you like this sort of thing, definitely go give her a look. And if you liked me, maybe consider subscribing to this channel. So that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.